Hey you guys, it's Julian. So this is going to be a hopefully, quick update on just some things I've noticed. It's kind of like a hodgepodge of things. So it's almost been 2 years that I've been on T. I'm like a year and 10 months right now. So I just want to talk about different social things I've noticed. I think that's the main focus of this. Yeah. It's just random things. So I guess one social thing I've noticed is that men don't hug. At least, obviously my experience isn't the only one, but this is just what I've noticed a lot. Like, just making different guy friends, like some who don't know that I'm trans. Like, I remember going up to this guy, like, to meet him, and he just had his hand up here like this, and I was like, what is he doing? So I went in till he started bringing his hand down, so I kind of went into this weird high five with him, and then I grabbed his hand and shook it, and he's like, no. And then I thought he was giving dap or something, where you go like, psh, psh, and that, and you do all that stuff, but I guess he was going in for a bro hug, where you, like, slap hands and then go, ooh, and, like, slap each other on the back. Yeah, I totally missed that. And as fun as I thought it was to try to do the bro hug before transitioning, just like because I thought it was funny, it's so, like, I don't know, I find it so sad. It's like, why can't we just do a hug? And then actually what's hilarious is some of my baby boomer, like, well, not relatives, but like family friends, like, these guys just, like, they used to give me hugs all the time. Then once I transitioned, they just went to handshakes like they do with my dad and all the other men. And it's like, I usually just go, no, I just give them a hug because it's so silly. But it's like, I don't know. But then what's funny is the men, the boomers and everything, they'll like give hugs. No offense to boomers, it's just the terms. That's the term I've been given by my generation now. So then the men will hug the women, though, but they always give a handshake to the men. So anyways, I think that's kind of sad. Oh, this is not an original observation on my part. This is a confirmation of what Sam, is it Switz? I think it's Switz. It might be Swiss. I think it's Switz. He's a YouTuber. Is he noticed that guys say bro, dude, and man a lot, and it's like a very affectionate term, and like some guys will be like, oh, bro, dude, blah, blah, and they'll just keep throwing it at him, and like I've noticed that too. It's really cute. It's like, I wouldn't say it has a one-to-one translation with anything that women say. I mean, women do say like, hey girl, so it's like sort of similar to that, but it almost feels like, this is my interpretation, that it's like showing affection that men can't show in other ways, like in hugs. So I don't know, but it's pretty cute. A lot of guys say it a lot, at least to me. No, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, also at this point, I should say I'm correctly gendered most of the time. Yeah, I would say really most of the time. Sometimes, like, customers, because I work in retail, like, every once in a while someone will misgender me, but I do have a name tag with my pronouns, so that helps. Also, in general, I might have said this before, but if someone does misgender you, and, like, you do correct them, I would just always remember that people who correctly gender you and people who incorrectly gender you are both making assumptions unless you've said it out front, or up front. So they're both doing the same thing. One of them is just right. So when you correct someone, I would say really be really compassionate and understanding about it, and you don't have to like yell or be spiteful or anything. Just be like, oh, I actually use like he, him pronouns, and like move on. Also, one thing I would say is if you feel like you're up to it, a customer recently misgendered me, and then it was really painful because she misgendered me, and then she saw my name tag, and then she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, and she's got her whole family, like 3, like, adult kids and her husband there, and she's kind of looking at them, oh, well, he had such pretty hair, oh, I just thought, oh, I'm so sorry. And then she goes up to me, oh, my family, my kids are giving me such a hard time. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean this. And she's saying it so loudly, so it's like they can hear it. Everyone's kind of watching me. And she wouldn't drop it. And she meant well. I could tell that she really cared. But she did just keep on talking about it, which made it like a billion times worse. So I didn't get the courage to speak to her about this that time, but luckily she came back another day alone. And as she was checking out, I was like, hey, were you in here yesterday with your family? And she's like, yeah. And so I was just like, I just for future reference, like if you ever misgender someone, like you can just kind of, at least this is what feels best to me. I was like, you can just kind of correct yourself and move on. Like, for instance, if you saw my name tag, say like, oh, sorry, sir. Like, if you say sir, it shows me that you know, or just start using the right pronouns and then I'll know that you know. And we don't have to talk about it, because when you keep talking about it and apologizing and everything, it makes it worse and draws it out and everything. So, she really appreciated that. And she actually is from the South, where they say sir and ma'am and stuff all the time, which I found charming when I was in the South, and this was pre-transition. So, and also it's like, she's a different generation. So we just had this really nice, frank conversation, and she was really grateful that I shared it with her and like walked her through it, because she had no idea how to handle a situation like that, because you don't know until you know. And it was like, I don't know, it was really powerful to me. I was like just glad that her family wasn't there, but it worked out and she left, and I actually kind of tried not to cry, because I've always had a lot of anxiety about conversations like this and thinking someone's going to lash out at me or something. So it went over really nicely. So just know that that's an option. Like, if you feel comfortable doing that, people appreciate it, and a lot of times people just don't know. So just give them the benefit of the doubt. And even if you think that maybe they're aggressive, again, assumptions are like at the crux of like 99% of conflicts. So just, it's always good to just do your best to not make assumptions. But if you do feel like something's really going to not go over well and blow up in your face, take care of yourself. Let's see. Another thing I've noticed is, maybe this is in my head, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people look at me, especially men, like with like interest. I'm not saying like attraction, but just like curiosity or awe or interest. It's almost like a look where I feel like there's a weird video of me on YouTube that other people are aware of that I didn't think they were aware of, and I'm pretty darn sure they have not seen this channel and these videos. But I don't know, it's like, it's not really a look of recognition, but just like very clearly looking at me and like, huh, like, is that maybe pointing? And I think it really has to do with me just kind of wearing what I want. Like, this is a women's sweater, and I have these awesome earrings my best friend got me, like very funky stuff, and all my piercings and stuff, and some feminine sweaters and necklaces. And I mean, also this is like pressed flowers, and the glasses are women's glasses. But I have to say, I really enjoy it. Not that I have to be the center of attention, but like, I think some people are always like, oh, people are so rude to stare and stuff. And it's like, well, what the heck do you expect? Because if you're breaking gender norms, you're weird, and they're going to notice, and they're going to look at you. They're not, I don't know why we have to say it's rude. It's like, if you see something novel, you're going to look at it. Think of all the people watching you probably do, and there are people that you zero in on, like, no doubt. So I'm kind of flattered when this happens, and it just kind of reminds me about how I kind of made the decision to work on wearing what I want to wear and push gender norms, because I don't want to be the group that comes after activists like Alok. Look them up, they're amazing, like non-binary fashionista activists, like, so I don't want to wait until Alok and like Sam Smith and Jonathan Van Ness and like Billy, oh gosh, what's his name, he was in Pose, I'm forgetting, his name's escaping me right now, but like, I don't want to wait for them to pave the way. Oh, and also Kid Cudi. I want to be part of the wave of change in changing people's minds and everything. Um, so, anyways, just getting these looks, and they're not aggressive and they're not scary. At least, probably because of where I live. I'm in a very liberal place. Not to say that liberals aren't, shackled to their ideas, traditional ideas of gender. But, anyways, I'm not upset by it. I would say also, okay, here's a physical change. My voice seems a lot more stable. Like, breaking is not nearly as common, thank God. It happens once in a while. Yeah, but I just don't notice it as much. Yeah. What else? Oh, this is another social thing. I've noticed that guys tend to talk more about things rather than people, like things and concepts and whatever. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I've even noticed when I'm talking to, like, the women in my family or something about, let's say it's like, oh, my brother's girlfriend and her life and what's going on, and then, like, maybe my dad will come in, and then, like, oh, we're talking about her looking at apartments or something like that, and then he'll go on about, like, oh, apartments in the housing market and blah, 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 and rent in this place and stuff, and I'm just like, ugh, can you just leave? Because, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's not that it's not interesting to talk to, but it's, like, not about people, and I care more about the human-centered part of that conversation. But it's like, also I'll hear, like, the boomers, the male boomers in my family talking, and it's always like politics or engineering or something, or it's never like, so how's so-and-so doing? Oh, well, they just moved here and blah blah blah. And I don't know, I guess with some of my male friendships I've sort of worked that in. I don't know. It depends. I mean, obviously that's not a blanket statement. It's just kind of a trend that I've noticed more. Oh, I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but I did get muscles in my arms from